Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. 3 senior citizens have been arrested for taking drastic action in their climate protest at the steps of State Parliament. The protesters refused to move while chanting to politicians sitting inside in Extinction Rebellion's continued fight for climate action.
3 knitting nanas refusing to budge from the steps of Parliament House. Authorities forced to intervene, leading the activists away and arresting the trio.
We stand with you! We are with you!
After they barricaded the main doors, preventing staff from entering the building, surrounded by a noisy army of climate warriors for the state's politicians to hear.
What do we want? Climate action! When do we want it? Now!
So we're here reminding them that this is their duty to protect us, and it's our duty to demand that they act.
In their 60s and 70s, these protesters set up camp at around 8:30 this morning, catching the attention of the Greens leader and the Speaker of the House on their way inside, all part of Extinction Rebellion's demand for government action on climate.
We need them to tell the truth. This is beyond politics. We need them to act now. We need to look at Tasmania's contribution, be it small, it's important. But the system needs to change, and it needs to change now.
No individual interest group has got special privilege or special rights over the general community, and so that is unfortunate, it is regrettable, and it's another demonstration, I guess, that some of these extreme groups are doing themselves more damage.
But there was support from other sides of Parliament.
This was a peaceful protest from people who were taking their deep abiding concern about climate breakdown straight to the politicians who are coming into Parliament.
We respect that people have a right to get their views across, and I also respect how passionate people are about what's happening in our climate.
More actions are expected this week. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's bottom line has taken a hit from several unexpected events, with the state forced to hand over extra funds for the bushfire response, a meningococcal scare and Basslink legal costs. The top-ups have been revealed in new documents showing the true extent of the additional costs to our budget.
The fallout from the summer bushfires continue for affected communities, but also the state's finances. A budget update today revealing the government was forced to hand over an extra $29 million to help cover costs, plus more for recovery and Parks and Wildlife's share of the work. The Treasurer adamant his budget remains in good shape.
The budget is balanced across the forward estimates whilst delivering, as I've said, this record investment of $3.6 billion into long-term job-creating intergenerational infrastructure.
Documents also revealing the government spent an extra $3.4 million on legal advice on Basslink's failure, $1.2 million for operational deficits at the Silver Dome, and $4 million for a meningococcal immunisation program.
We are a government that is prepared to act, Madam Speaker, sensibly and responsibly.
In total, topping up health by $16 million and state growth by $44.
Every year, the Premier Will Hodgman and Peter Gutwin, the Treasurer, chronically underfund services, including health. They chronically underfunded health last year. They've had to come back to the Parliament now, cap in hand, asking for more money. They will do everything possible to keep scraping $1.4 billion over the forward estimates into roads and bridges and taking it out of health and education and other essential services.
Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
A cyclist remains in a serious but stable condition after being hit by a truck in Wivenhoe yesterday afternoon. It's the latest incident near a feed intersection, and calls are growing to fix the spot before it claims a life.
A truck is carefully towed away. Evening traffic slows to a crawl, and officers take a few final notes on a crash which left a 45-year-old man with serious injuries. Close calls are a part of life at the Stowport and Bass Highway intersection.
We've been here for about 3 years and we've seen 6 accidents in about the last 18 months.
Jacob Rumble lost his car to a bingle at the corner.
It was a few months ago. There was a 5-car pile-up I was involved with that.
In February, a motorcyclist also suffered injuries after being struck.
I want to say at the intersection, so there should be a roundabout and the speed limit should be reduced from, instead of being 80 down to 60.
I think it's a no-brainer, a roundabout. A roundabout will just slow the traffic down, probably slow the incoming traffic down.
Burnie City Council said it understands a State Growth Department review is underway and hopes to be consulted in the process. The department confirmed it would review the road as it would following any crash.
I am going to be anticipating some advice, and just to ensure that any factors that contributed to that unfortunate crash are reported back to me so that government could respond if necessary.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
4 people have been charged over an alleged aggravated burglary at a Kelton property yesterday afternoon. New footage has emerged of police arresting the group near Sorrel on the Arthur Highway after they allegedly fled the Josephs Road property in a blue hatch. The 2 adults and 2 youths appeared in the Hobart Magistrates Court today, facing a range of offences. We have an update now on yesterday's confronting video involving a wombat and a warning the following images are distressing. The series of social media videos depict a bloodied wombat on a car after a person brags about punching it. Dipipwi and Tasmania Police have launched a joint investigation. Late today, authorities confirmed a male youth is assisting them with inquiries. More than 80 years have passed since the last Tasmanian tiger died in captivity, but that hasn't stopped a steady stream of reported sightings across the state's roads and forests. Right to information documents have revealed 8 cases of elusive animals believed to be big cats or thylacines.
He has 30 cameras, but Adrian Richardson says it's conviction that could finally find the Tassie tiger.
Truthfully, it will come out in years to come that the thylacine will be exposed and a photograph will be taken of the animal.
Mr. Richardson was among a team in 2017 that revealed footage many had hoped would be the final breakthrough, and he's not the only one looking. Right to information documents reveal 8 reported sightings of thylacines or big cats since 2016.
20 or 30 years ago you used to get half a dozen a week. Lately it's dried right up, so it is encouraging in a way if they're genuine, yes.
One report from 2018 describes a large cat-like creature with stripes near Derwent Bridge. Another from Sheffield in 2016 claims the sighting of a large snouted animal, neither a dog nor a cat. Those committed to the search say they're encouraged by the news.
Because the majority of the sightings, people are reluctant to report them, and this is due to ridicule.
The Department of Parks and Wildlife says there have been no confirmed sightings of the species for more than 50 years, and despite receiving the 8 reports, there's no evidence it exists. Cole Bailey has cast a critical eye on plenty of claims, but he's not giving up.
Because I believe they're still out there, not in great numbers, maybe only a few, and they can inbreed, and this is the important thing, so I believe they're still there.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
TasTAFE has confirmed plans to relocate its Launceston City campus to its largest site in Allenvale. It's expected the first students will transfer at the start of next year.
The Launceston campus is a very old campus and it is a beautiful site, but it's not fit for purpose for a 2020 learning facility.
The move will not affect the Drysdale North campus. The state government is expected to decide the future of the city site. In a breath of fresh air for the state's capital, smoking has now been banned in 3 parks within the city. The Hobart City Council following a town in the northwest by taking another step forward to a smoke-free CBD.
Anti-smoking signs plastered alongside one of Hobart's major parks. Smokers now forced to butt out and go elsewhere as Franklin Square becomes smoke-free.
This move will help reinforce the idea that we need to reduce the amounts of smoking because it's killing Tasmanians.
Legacy Park and University Rose Gardens also banning tobacco, herbal and e-cigarette smoking. as the Hobart City Council pushes its goal for a smoke-free CBD by April next year.
There's great commitment by the council and council officers to ensure that we improve the health and wellbeing and amenity of not only our residents but visitors to Hobart.
It follows a similar incentive taken in the northwest, with a smoke-free precinct opening in the centre of Ulverston in November last year to encourage more Tasmanians to kick the habit.
It's just setting a very good example, and as well it could be a motivating factor for people who currently smoke to make that quit attempt or to prevent relapse.
Tasmania has the second highest smoking rate in the country, behind the Northern Territory. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
The first cruise ship of the season is docked in Hobart tonight. The Majestic Princess is one of 130 cruise ships whose visits are scheduled over the coming months. Tasport estimates 230,000 passengers will sail to Tasmania this season. Ports include Burnie, Port Arthur, Coles Bay and Beauty Point. Generosity from Tasmanians will see our children's wards boosted by almost $500,000. The funds have been raised by Triple M and 7 Tasmania through Give Me 5 for Kids, with a portion of the money also helping the Royal Hobart Hospital redevelopment.
A big cheque for a big fundraiser. Triple M's Dave Noonan and Al Plath handing over $330,000 to the Royal Hobart Hospital.
It's a remarkable tribute to the whole community in southern Tasmania. To raise that money and to have raised millions over the years is just an absolutely phenomenal effort.
We are blown away.
The funds raised through Give Me 5 for Kids going towards the children's ward. In the past, purchasing vital equipment. This year, assisting with the new wing in the redeveloped hospital.
So this year the main difference it's going to make is with the redevelopment. This is really going to enhance the arrivals and reception sort of area for the paediatric and adolescent wards that we're moving into next year.
We don't have our own designated children's hospital, so this will be like Children's Hospital for Hobart.
A significant part of the fundraising efforts still underway, a charity project, Madison House, with local construction company Leiden Builders.
We're hoping to be finished by late February, early March. Everybody's been extremely generous like normal and we've received a huge amount of support.
The statewide tally for Give Me 5 for Kids has topped $485,000, with funds also going to the Launceston and Northwest hospitals. Today's handover a milestone for radio personality Dave Noonan in his last week on Triple M.
And we are just so grateful. They're an amazing team and they've just done so much for the community through this that we are so grateful.
The time and energy and effort that he puts into this charity is just nothing short of astounding. And it's just been a privilege to join in and be a part of this team. I know, but he's an absolute legend.
Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
And Hugh Greenwood's wish to be traded to the Gold Coast Suns has been granted. The Hobart-born former basketballer has been traded from the Crows in exchange for 3rd and 4th round draft picks. The Tasmanian Tigers will take a 14-man squad to Sydney for Friday's Shield game against New South Wales after the venue was shifted from the SCG to Drummoyne Oval. Cricket New South Wales is pointing the finger at the Sydney Roosters, claiming they damaged the pitch during training before the NRL Grand Final. Tigers coach Jeff Vaughan says it's disappointing to be relegated to a suburban ground.
We were just told yesterday afternoon, which was disappointing for us. Everyone wants to play at the big grounds around Australia.
Tasmania will also be missing spearhead Jackson Bird as he awaits the birth of his first child. Jake Doran is also out, but in better news, Lawrence Neil-Smith has retained his spot after taking 5 wickets on debut.
His mum and dad were over there and he was very excited for his A, to have a debut, but B, to face 150 balls was wonderful support to Painey and bowled really well throughout.
Bo Webster, Jared Freeman and Clive Rose have been included in the squad. For the first time, children will have free entry to all matches, including finals at the Hobart International Tennis Tournament. A revamped corporate box is also being launched for the event. There's some of the ways organisers are looking to secure the tournament's long-term future.
her own the last couple of years.
We're having discussions about how we can secure the future for a longer term and have that real commitment behind it. And we're getting, as I said, great support from the local community and the government. So we're continuing to have those discussions.
The field of players will be released next month. Organisers are hopeful reigning champion Sophia Kennan will return for another year. Tasmanian Sarah Hoare has been named among the finalists for this year's World Rowing Awards. Hoare is in the running for the Women's Crew of the Year as part of Australia's Women's Four, which won gold on the global stage. She's up against finalists from China, Ireland and New Zealand. The winner will be announced next month. And finally tonight, there's a new push for Tasmania to join another national league, this time in Gridiron. With a growing fan base and a strong local competition, players say it's time to pad up against the rest of the country.
Down, set, hut!
Gridiron, it's a sport synonymous with America, but in the Apple Isle there are now 150 active players.
Originally started with a group of about 5 guys. They had a concept to start the league again.
Gridiron first touched down in Tasmania in the 90s.
Pass down! Watch the pass!
The statewide league only lasted a few years, leaving the sport in limbo until a new version began in 2014. It's now considered strong enough to be a launching pad to the national competition, which features every state except Tasmania.
It's all about building the skill set, giving our guys exposure and even allowing some of the younger players that are coming up opportunity to represent Australia.
The state's aiming to enter in 2022 and is holding special training camps for players with a shot at making the cut. Locally, the sport's already changed lives.
All my life I've been a bit of a bigger kid. You're able to do anything and everything as long as you're able to set your mind to it.
Anthony Hardman says Gridiron's range of roles makes it the ultimate team sport.
It's really nice to be in a situation where every single person has a role regardless of their size, their weight, their athletic ability, and it's just a really enjoyable sport to play for sure.
Something more and more Tasmanians are finding out.
Good evening. Showers today over the west, south and east, mainly fine over the north. Hobart 12 degrees, Launceston warmed up to 20, Burnie 19 and Devonport 16. Smithton had 18 today, St Helens 17, Lowhead 16, Ouse and Flinders Island 15 degrees, Friendly Beaches, Grove and Strawn 14. The best rainfall 7 millimetres at Mount Wellington. And the cloud that brought the showers spread right over most of the state today. Some higher cloud streamed in from the west as well. This band of cloud also stretches back over the Great Australian Bight. Areas of cloud over South Australia and southwest of WA. Tomorrow, a weak ridge of high pressure arrives over Tasmania, while a low and associated front approach from the west. Another high builds further west. Variable winds at 5 to 15 knots. They'll tend northwest to northeast later in the morning. Inshore afternoon sea breezes over the south. Hobart 12 today, 4 better tomorrow, 16 with showers increasing though, 16 for Geeveston, early fog, then showers and 15 the high for Bothwell. Launceston 17 with a shower or two, afternoon showers for Devonport 15, 17 for Cressy. Burnie, a high of 15 degrees, a possible afternoon shower, a shower or two for Strawn on 15 and Curry on King Island 14 degrees. 15 for St Helens, Swansea and Orford, with showers increasing in the afternoon. Showers over the north on Thursday, extending statewide late morning before clearing during the evening. Showers on Friday with snow lowering to 600 metres, and on Saturday more snow with showers again, more so over the west, central and south. A sunny 22 in Perth, wet and 18 for both Adelaide and Melbourne, partly cloudy in Sydney, and a cloudy 29 in Brisbane. And cloudy over Hobart, 9 at the moment, 15 in Launceston, Devonport 14 and partly cloudy. And tonight, Joe, we salute the ladies on the land on International Rural Women's Day, recognising the critical work that women do in rural areas. I hope for tonight at least they can sit back and relax.
Well, let's cross our fingers. All right, that's all from the news team for now. We'll see you with updates a little later. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
Okay, at this point in time, you're under arrest for trespass.